Welcome back. This is Stocktake Chats. My name's Alistair from Stocktake, and I am joined by George from Scanmatix. George, welcome back to Digital DNA.
Thank you, thank you.
How many years have you been coming in? This is now 3, 4?
2.
Is this any...
This is my, well, actually, it wouldn't even be 1 because the first one I was at was 9 months ago when it was September.
We can't. That was just coming out of lockdown, wasn't it? So
Yeah,
it was
that was
still
the
a
first
bit awkward, social distancing.
All that sort of stuff and
Yeah.
people being...
Yeah.
So, yeah, but this year's been great.
Yeah.
Certainly yesterday was a great buzz about the place. First
Aye.
day back, everyone was good. Today's maybe just not as busy, but
Yeah.
really good, really
Aye.
good.
No, I know, and it's the value of meeting people that you miss, isn't it? So much. So it's just great to have that again.
Yeah, what struck me, so many people have met online
Yeah.
and had chats with and been introduced.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're walking past and someone says, "Oh, George, how are you?" Or
Yeah.
you see over and there's Fred and there's somebody
Like
else.
there you go. That's the point made exactly.
Yeah, there's someone I haven't seen in a while.
So-
But yeah, so that sort of thing, and you meet them and then you have a chat, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, what was like, it was great to Zoom helped us through a lot of
Yeah.
things. But all of a sudden, it's a face to face. It's a proper chat. You
Yeah.
can show someone what you do, and it's all good.
No,
all
it's
good.
great and great. So, look, right, we obviously need to repeat this to anyone that doesn't know about Scanmatix, what you guys do. So, like, tell us a little, give us your elevator pitch. What is Scanmatix?
You see, you're hitting me at the wrong time here because we're actually getting a better idea of what we do.
Okay.
But let's say 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
we were an inventory management platform to help retailers and manufacturers improve their bottom line.
Yeah.
But with speaking to people, now we're back face to face and got a chance to speak to other people. Some clever people have looked at what we've done, and one of them has said that we're business analysts who've created a tool that will help retailers, wholesalers, and manufacturers improve efficiencies and drive profitability in their business.
Will you stop it with this business buzz? That is amazeballs.
That, so we can say it, that sounds sexy compared
Yeah.
to, yeah, we're stock takers and it's like sexy
Yeah.
as a brick.
Yeah. No, rock and roll. And so obviously what they're trying to get you to do is understand the value of the knowledge that you're building about obviously your users as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're collecting data.
Yeah.
People, everywhere you see, it's all about data.
Yeah.
Data is the new gold.
Yeah.
And if you can get insights that other people can't,
Yeah.
then you're at the forefront of what you can do with that
Yeah.
data. And where we are with stock control, you might not think that there's a lot in that, but if you take a retailer and they've got an online business and they've got the retail business bricks and mortar, well, if their stock's not right, they miss out in sales.
Yeah.
If it's too low, if it's too high, then they have the lower margins.
Yeah.
And all those things, if we can keep that right, and ultimately for them, it improves the customer experience.
Yeah.
So their customer gains
Yeah.
them having the right stock, and that's where we fit in and help out.
So you tell us, like, obviously there's some early stage startups that are here now showcasing today, and you've had a really good journey over the last 12 months or so. So
Yeah.
give us kind of like paint the picture of what's happened over the last 12 months, so that if an early stage startup was listening, they would understand like what is possible within a 12-month period.
Well, we go, if you go back 12 months, this time last year, I think we were still in the second lockdown. For us, we had to stop really what we were doing. We were treading water. Staff were on furlough with all these sorts of things that everyone was experiencing. But once it reopened, we started speaking to different clients, people who we'd maybe reached out to during that time wanting to talk to us. What could we do? And all of a sudden, if you get one, that case study in theory becomes what somebody else recognizes as their problem. And that way you get two, and all of a sudden it snowballs. And like the snowball, right, for us might not be very big, but it's much bigger than maybe someone else. And once you get that stage and that snowball continues, as long as it keeps moving, it will keep getting bigger. And the amount of work that goes on, I mean, we've done a huge amount of work in developing our software to get the extra analysis and things we can do. But even looking around all the sort of startup hub here this week, the work that these guys are doing, it really is amazing. And some of them I've known through the Raise program, but others I don't. And you see what they do, and it makes you think, well, like, I know where I was at your stage 12 months ago and where we are now, and it helps me realize how much we have moved on. Because for everyone else, there's not really that chance where you get stuck in your own bubble and you think you're in the same bubble, but it's the external validation that you get from others, and you see others who you recognize their problems and you try and give a bit back.
No,
and that's the main thing.
totally. And we are very good at that here in NI. Like, that giving back part, I think, always comes through, like from founders passing that knowledge back to others. That we have got such a good tight ecosystem from an early stage, and that's really, really great for the future as well, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
obviously where we go as an ecosystem. So yeah, there's some really good strengths that are there. Like, what do you think has been your biggest lesson over the last 12 months? Something that you've learned that you would potentially want to share with other people?
For us, it was probably the aspect of what we planned and set out to do at the very beginning is not where we are now.
Yeah.
But what we did go into was something that we thought people would understand. So we went into stock taking. We now have a stock taking arm of the business that will go in and help retailers count their stock. But we got in, and people now trust us as a stock taker. And that in turn has allowed us to get back into what we can then do in regards to inventory management for like sales and returns at the back, all the backdoor transactions, transfers, all that sort of thing. People now trust us because we went into something that didn't need education. People knew what it was. And we were able to have a very short and simple conversation about getting our foot in the door. And that became our beachhead. And from there, we're now starting to get back to what we set out to do. But we wouldn't have been able to do that, A, with COVID. And now looking back, it's what our ultimate goal was. We probably couldn't have done it at the beginning without going through this learning process anyway. So adapt, just what...
It's not a total pivot, is it? It's an extension.
And all of a sudden we've created, a sidearm of the business that's actually profitable.
Yeah.
It's something else that's feeding into
Yeah.
our ultimate goal, but it's built us visibility, it's built us trust with the end user, and now we've got a chance to take that to...
So you can see it as like the Scanmatix group in a sense of companies that could potentially spin out from that, do you think? Is there other things that might come?
Well, the Scanmatix group is actually under talks at the moment.
Okay, right. Well.
So we have our Irish stock taking company. We have our solution as a service, which is in the process of being formed.
Yeah.
And we will have an actual stock taking company on mainland GB.
Yeah.
In the very near future. That's the sort of short term side of things.
Amazing.
And once we take that into account, then yes, there is a Scanmatix group that's forming, and they're just trying to head that up and keep going. But it's just you just little by little. Every day you might think there's a different challenge, but you forget where you've come from.
Yeah.
So you might think today it's a step I can't make.
Yeah.
But you've probably come 20 steps up already to get to this step. You'll find a way there.
Yeah.
And might realize that step is 3 or 4 smaller steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you'll get there, and everyone's good.
Let's end on a final thing, which is something that me and you discussed very briefly yesterday, which is like I think we're both kind of outward going people. We seem to come across quite confident. We were able to chat on camera and stuff like that. But like we were both having that conversation yesterday. When you put us in a room of 50 people, we are sometimes like both probably like not socially awkward, but find those things harder than perhaps a one-to-one like this.
Yeah.
And that's true of a lot of people. So what advice would you give to someone who is new to the networking part of what you do? How do you get past that kind of fear of the big room and the conversations?
Everybody in that room has the same fears. Some just hide it better than others.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And it's something, the more you do, the more you get used to it, the less it becomes more instinct as opposed to something to fear.
Yeah.
I mean, sitting down in front of the camera, the first time you do it, you think I'm going to take 20 takes. But it's no different than just speak to the person who's asking you questions.
Yeah.
And whether it's you, like this with the interview, or whether it's just someone else, everyone just wants to hear you. People in this ecosystem want to hear your story.
Yeah.
Tell your story, tell it as best you can.
Yeah, no.
And go from there.
Totally, and I use the word totally a lot. I can remember listening back to things. It's like basically, I'm like the David Beckham, but those things, and David Beckham, in fact, is a good example of that. Like, he trained himself to become better at answering questions and things, and we all have to do that, and it's like kudos to him for doing that. So, and it's quite a scary thing, isn't it, getting in front of the camera and asking questions, but also being on the receiving end and having a guy that come up with things that you have to say back. So it's a two-way thing, but you get over that fear, don't you, eventually?
Yeah. I mean, it's the camera's here. We're not looking at the camera, looking at each other.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
But if there's lights on you and you've built yourself up into giving this speech, just be natural.
Yeah.
Be the person you are, because if you're someone who you're not, you'll get found out.
Absolutely.
Be who you are. Just be as authentic as you can be. Yes, in the startup world, I said it earlier today, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
But everyone's doing it. Don't be afraid that you have to
Yeah.
sometimes do that smoke and mirrors and just get on with it.
Oh, I haven't used this analogy for a long time, but it's like the Wizard of Oz analogy. You got this basically like old bloke who's behind a screen and he sounds like really big and scary. You take the screen away, it's just some bloke. And that's like us with our computers and laptops. It's literally sometimes smoke and mirrors, but behind it is the potential for a massive big company.
Yeah.
So we're all playing the Wizard of Oz a bit. And George, thank you ever so much for your time.
Well, thank
it's
you.
great, and I can't wait to see what happens over the next 12 months with the Scanmatix group.
Thank you very much.
So
Cheers.
this is Stocktake Chats, and we'll be back soon.